Smack in the middle of Thanksgiving weekend. Welcome in to historic Rupp Arena in downtown Lexington. The Wildcats have won their first 5 games by an average of 21 points for the first time since the mid-40s. Tonight, the nation's #1 team looks to go 6-0 against Tennessee Martin. Dave Baker along with Damian Fishback and the former Wildcat great Antoine Walker. Damian, why are these Wildcats so good?
Well, Dave, it starts with the transition game. They are terrific. You have to get back defensively. And then it goes to their depth. These cats can go 10 deep. Next, you have to go with the inside presence. They didn't have that last year with Labissiere. And then Briscoe's leadership. They have taken his personality. They are unselfish and as tough as they will get.
Isaiah Briscoe on the bench. He's the team's leading scorer for the second straight game with a bruised collarbone. Antoine, what Cal has got is a bunch of talent. Now he's trying to bring it together.
As long as this backcourt can continue to play the way they're playing right now, this is the best backcourt in the country right now, and they're doing a great job as being freshmen right now, as leading this team.
The Skyhawks off to their best start at 5-1 since 02-03. Joe Lindsay, our lead official, and we are playing in the SEC.
Notice that the Skyhawks are actually starting out kind of in a 1-1-3 zone. They'll change defenses throughout the entire game.
Dominique Hawkins gets the start and goes right to the rim on Kentucky's first trip.
Kentucky's going to have to be able to make some three-point shots against this zone.
And it's a number of different zones, guys. They'll give you a bunch of different looks. And John Calipari at shoot-around today thought this would be a perfect test for his young but talented team. Fox lost the handle, and the Wildcats turn it over. How about that defense? That's what this team will do as Monk gets back and keeps at it. You saw Malik Monk, and there's John Calipari. Last game out Wednesday against Cleveland State. Became the winningest Kentucky coach here at Rupp Arena.
Past Joby Hall, just a tremendous lineage of terrific coaches to come through Rupp Arena, and Coach Cal being the all-time winningest coach at Rupp Arena says a lot.
Kentucky stayed in the man-to-man, and that is a tough step-back three by Matthew Butler, the junior from Memphis who transferred via Rhode Island.
Matthew Butler played over 40 games at Rhode Island, so he won't be intimidated. Neither will UT Martin.
Adebayo gets the pass and immediately draws the bump inside. Rowe is guilty of the foul, his first. And there's Anthony Stewart. I mean, Fish, we've been doing this a long time, back since when Twan was playing. But Anthony Stewart is as an impressive guy as you'll meet, and we'll talk about him a lot tonight. The coach of the Skyhawks, as Monk can't connect, but Adebayo with the offensive board.
Well, that's where the Wildcats really impressed Coach Cal against Duquesne, out-rebounded them 40+ to 32, and you see it making a difference here.
And how about Fox, who is so fast in the open court, making it happen in the paint?
Yeah, he's playing a little two-guard today, too, with Dominique Hawkins starting at point guard, so he's going to have to score the basketball a little bit more. Look at the basket a lot.
That's a good play. You know, when you have a guy like De'Aaron Fox who not only can distribute the basketball, but Coach Cal has him in the middle of the zone because he's disruptive. And you called it, Antoine. A guy who scored 50 points in a game in high school can score as well.
Monk had that one go way down and pop out. As the Wildcats still looking for their first three of the night. Even though UT Martin has been in the zone, they're applying the pressure when they're playing defense, the same as the Wildcats have done in their man-to-man. Monk thought about it. It was cut off nicely at the baseline by Rowe. Here's Fox. And Gabriel couldn't get the stick back. And the third time is the charm Malik Monk. His third three of the night is the first one of the evening for the SEC Freshman of the Week.
Well, the SEC Freshman of the Week really gained his confidence when they played against Michigan State. He hit the 7 3-pointers, and he has carried it over since then.
They're going to have to make a lot of threes tonight. I think it's like 10-plus threes tonight to really boot the zone up.
Unless they get it going in transition and beat the zone before it sets up. And that's what they've been able to do so well in the first part of this season. And Fox forces another turnover as Butler is called for the backcourt violation.
That's what makes Kentucky so tough. They can play defense in the half court. They don't have to pressure at all.
Well, and this is the transition that we talked about. They get it down so quickly. It has to be an all-out sprint, make or miss against this Wildcat team.
Fox again inside, and the lefty goes to the right hand and sticks it in off the window.
Remember, he can score the basketball. We marvel over the 7.5 assists a game, but he can really score the basketball.
Nice drive there by Martinez. And Fox comes out of there with it. UT Martin trying to capitalize on the turnover, and they do. It's Kadar Edwards, a senior from Brooklyn, who gets his first three.
Critical shot by Kadar Edwards. He had a very good game, opened up well on the road at Ole Miss. Probably their most versatile player.
Boy, that's exactly the shot they want Adebayo to get. And he keeps battling, and he was fouled on the play. It'll be Kentucky basketball as the Cats lead by 3. SEC Network Basketball is brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance. Safe, sound, secure for 100 years. Find your local independent agent at AutoOwner.com. Top-ranked Kentucky with an early 9-6 lead here at home over a really game Skyhawk team of UT Martin. Dave Baker along with a Wildcat great, Antoine Walker, and the former Kentucky Mr. Basketball, Damian Fishback. Listen, when you guys played, it like took the earth to move to play freshmen, but that's not the way it is now.
Yeah, and you got to give Coach Kyle credit. He's the only coach in the country, to me, that gets the max out of freshmen and lets them allow them to play. He treats them like pros, and this is a great group he's got right now.
I agree. I mean, he's got a plethora of freshmen that he's had come through, but, you know, when you look at the freshmen that he has this year, you start with Malik Monk, you know, his ability to knock down shots. You talk about De'Aaron Fox and him distributing the basketball. And Bam Adebayo, 6'10", 260 pounds, a grown man on the floor. I think it's one of the better classes he's had.
After hitting one, Monk missed his next three-pointer. Now the Wildcats back on defense, and that's Fox who got another hand on it and forced the turnover. But Todd Lewis couldn't handle the pass, but it was the pressure from Fox that caused the miscue.
That's what makes these Wildcats so impressive to me as a group of freshmen. They seem to enjoy playing defense and enjoy playing it hard.
Boy, how about Fox getting a roll on that? I mean, he's got strength inside Twan, and yet he's got that touch as well.
And he can score the basketball. You got to remember, this is a guy coming out of high school that scored 50 points, so he can put the ball in the basket. We've been marveled with his passing ability, but he really can score the ball.
Nice play against that man-to-man. And it's Matthew Butler who gets the three.
Well, we talked about Butler before. He was the one to keep them in the game against Ole Miss.
How about that play as Humphreys posts up, and a nice delivery by Dominique Hawkins.
Kentucky's going to have to do a better job of guarding the three-point line.
These guys are all athletic, Antoine. That's got to be recognition from a bunch of new guys who haven't had to do it that much.
Well, the first 5 minutes, they got to see how they're scoring the basketball. I think that's the one thing. They're shooting threes and hoping to get in this zone and hope Kentucky miss right now.
Javi Martinez, the senior from St. Croix in the Virgin Islands, gets that jumper to go. And then Gabriel answers at the other end for his first bucket of the night.
Very impressive. because of the dominance and the ability to get to the rim, everybody's going to try to make Kentucky beat them from outside. Tonight, they're displaying the ability to do that.
Boy, Martinez got wide open behind the defense. Somebody just got lost, and substitutes coming in for the Cats. Fox took a step, but they say he got fouled. Foul is going to go against Butler. That's his second, and the team's fourth. Already Chandler Rowe with 2 early fouls for UT Martin as well. Humphreys, Hawkins, Gabriel all come out for Kentucky. Mulder, Derek Willis, they check in for the first time, and Bam Adebayo back in there.
Every time Kentucky attacks the middle of the zone, they get whatever they want. Look for them to do a steady diet of that all night long.
Willis wanted the ball at about the free throw line.
De'Aaron Fox can make that shot, but that's a win every time for UT Martin. If you can get Kentucky to settle from the perimeter, even though they've proven that they can knock down those shots, that's better than them going inside to use their athleticism and size.
Martinez had it for a minute, and Mulder knocked it away. It'll be Skyhawks ball.
I'm so impressed with Tennessee's Martin confidence and swagger right now on the court. They're poised. They've withstood Kentucky's 2 runs early on already.
Twan, you have to remember, this is a team that was up 9 points with less than 5 minutes to go on the road at the Pavilion against Ole Miss. So a veteran team, multiple upperclassmen, they came here to play.
How about that? And that's exactly what the Skyhawks can do. And John Calipari's prediction about how difficult this game was going to be early, more than a little true. Willis didn't go out and get the rebound. And a second opportunity can't be converted by UT Martin. Monk with a contact. And he's going to be called for the offensive foul.
That's a good call right there.
UT Martin just a point behind the nation's #1 team and playing with confidence. Fans, Week 13 is rivalry weekend. The SEC Network College Football lineup starts with what should be another great one between Georgia Tech and Georgia at noon Eastern. Then it's the Egg Bowl at 3:30. Mississippi State battles Ole Miss. And at 7:30, our SEC Saturday night game is in the Volunteer State as number 17 Tennessee takes on Vanderbilt in Nashville. All 3 games can also be seen streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN.
Take a look at this right here. This is what Coach Cal's talking about. Freeze it right there. Now, if you're Bam Adebayo, your concern has to be with Mobley. Let it go. Instead, he was concerned about his own man too much, which is why Fox got beat. That's what Coach Cal is talking about with a young team still having to learn.
And they're small, too, so they're going to have to figure out how they're going to play that pick and roll.
Oh, Edwards went up and tried to slam one home and missed it. And yet the Skyhawks still come out of there with it. Mike Fofana, freshman from Memphis, number 5 with a basketball there, checked in. And Mobley to the left hand. And the Skyhawks take their first lead of the night.
They got to really make a decision on how they're going to really play that pick and roll. I don't know if I like the switch because he's able to drive and penetrate and get what he wants.
Mulder. Oh, stepped right into that jump shot and knocked it down.
Mulder's been playing well. Coming out from a career high last game with 13 points. He's a guy who can truly help.
And look at Fox. The steal and the hard foul. Joe Lindsay right there. No intentional signal.
This is what makes Kentucky special, to be able to play half-court man-to-man defense and get steals like this and get out in the open court. This is what separates them from a lot of teams. I remember when I played, we had to press 94 feet to get some steals like that.
Did you?
But they're so young and athletic, they can get out in half-court and get defensive steals.
Well, I think this is a team that as the season progresses, we talked about their depth. I think Coach Cal will implement some more pressure, but you're right. I just did Virginia a couple of nights ago. When this Kentucky team realizes that their defense is a huge part of them scoring offensively, they're going to be lethal.
I'm actually surprised because they're so young and athletic that Cal doesn't press more. They're more of a half-court tough defensive team.
Fox, who started off the season making 21 straight free throws, gets them both to go. And after taking the lead, UT Martin has seen Kentucky run off 5 straight. Fox has got Hawkins out front, and Adebayo. Willis didn't get back. And how about Edwards answering flush for flush?
Tennessee Martin, that came to play tonight.
Ooh, that's so good.
How about that penetration by that big fella?
Well, and he's 6'9". That's why I think he has the best upside on this Kentucky team because of his versatility. 6'1" in high school, growing so quickly to 6'9". His upside and his ceiling is astronomical.
Just the right decision, the right play, getting out on the break, making sure you get the 2 points. That's what makes him special. That's what makes Fox really special at the point guard position.
Which one? He is always going so fast, but he is under control with the basketball.
Very much so.
Adebayo, nice look! And that's one that Gabriel's got to finish, and he will as he gets stronger. But a great unselfish look by Adebayo.
Well, that shows two things. That shows not only unselfishness, but the ability for a big man to pass in Adebayo. At practice, Coach Cal said that's what separates our bigs from any other bigs in the country is the versatility. Our ability to not only shoot the basketball, but defend smaller guys, put the ball on the floor, and passing as well.
You got to remember, Wayne got a little, we saw Anthony Davis, have that same growth spurt.
Right.
Right, as Winion. That's right.
And he was a point guard in high school. Then he became one of the most dominant big men in the game. And obviously he's dominant in the NBA right now, too. So he has tremendous potential right now to be great.
And if you look at the way he runs, it looks a little funny, but that's because the body has not caught up. It's like one of these thoroughbred yearlings around here. But, man, they love his motor. Butler hit the deck and maintained control. Nice feed. And it's an and one possibility for Javi Martinez.
It's a great pass right there.
Well, the pass is because of the execution. You cannot be late when you're helping. And right now, you've seen one constant in this first half. Kentucky being concerned about their own men more than helping and being concerned about the basketball. That's something they'll continue to get better on.
Well, I tell you, John Calipari believed that this UT Martin team would give his club a look, and they have done it. Every time Kentucky has gotten what has got the potential to be an explosive play, Martin just hits a gas, and they put one in at the other end.
They got 4 or 5 guys that can put it on the floor, make a play for each other. Then they got 4 or 5 guys that will shoot the three-point shot. So that makes it tough for big guys to step out. But this is something as Kentucky goes throughout the season. They play different teams. You're going to have to be able to have your big step out and be able to defend on the perimeter.
Jacoby Mobley just checked back into the game. He had 25 and was the guy that hit the game-winning triple against Duquesne. Skip pass, Willis. And Adebayo had the big offensive rebound but couldn't hold it. Seventh turnover here in the first 11 minutes and change of the first half.
Yes, their 7th turnover, but if you've noticed, most of the turnovers by UT Martin have been dead ball turnovers. They haven't been live ball, and when you have a live ball turnover, that's when Kentucky hurts you.
You get out in the break and get those brass break dunks.
Monk. John Calipari talked to us a lot today about the fact that sometimes he bunny hops and doesn't step into the shot. That time, shooters, he stepped right into it. I don't know how much these two can talk about defense, but they can talk about stepping into a shot now. Butler trying to answer.
That was the first time in probably the last 10 times down that Kentucky's actually guarded the pick and roll very well. They ran it twice right there and the defended it very well. They're going to have to continue to do that tonight.
Well, I think that's a good call. I think Kentucky's a team who can pretty much switch 1 through 5 when Adebayo and when Gabriel are in the game. I think they are good enough to keep guards in front of them, use their length, and then if everyone else is helping, be able to defend the screens.
Now the Wildcats trying to get it going offensively. Monk with a lob. Boy, and Adebayo, you just see what he can do and just not able to finish. And there again.
Pretty.
Big play at one end. Edwards answers at the other, and John Calipari is taking a timeout. He is not happy that Adebayo did not finish.
Well, we talked about the Cats in transition. UT Martin, the Skyhawks in Rupp Arena saying, you're not the only ones, Cats. We can do it too.
SEC Nation live from where else? Tuscaloosa for the Iron Bowl with Maria, Tim, Marcus, Paul, and Laura. Now listen, there's reason to love Feinbaum all the time, Fish. But they ain't nothing like Feinbaum at the Iron Bowl. SEC Nation, presented by AT&T, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on the SEC Network, also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. And look at what this team did yesterday. And this is, you know what? Cal is really serious about giving back and teaching his guys that there's more to life than basketball. These guys served at the Salvation Army yesterday. Lundy's Catering has done this for about 30 years. So they did this yesterday. Anthony Davis did a deal down in New Orleans. Carl Towns did one up in New Jersey. And it's part of establishing a culture, and it's something he believes in. It's not just something he talks about.
Yeah, that's always special to give back, especially here in Kentucky where the fans are so loyal and support you so much. So you always want to have an opportunity to go out in the community and give back.
And when Cal speaks, people listen. And obviously, Bam Adebayo listened during that timeout because he got an earful. And it was because Cal thought he should have finished. And he has to finish because these Skyhawks just keep coming back. That was Mobley with a jumper, and then Fox can't connect.
You got to give Tennessee Martin a lot of credit. Every time Kentucky seems like finna make a run and open this thing up, they come back with key plays and key buckets.
Well, they're keeping Kentucky out of transition for the most part. You see them, there's two ways. Obviously, you have to get back in transition, but this is another way if you can get some scores or keep from turning over the basketball. You take those points off of turnovers and turn Kentucky into a half-court team, they're a different team, and that's what UT Martin's doing.
That's a piece of tape the Cats will learn from, is they did not play that pick especially well. So UT Martin back with it again, and the shot clock now down at 7. Edwards lost it. And Hawkins will go to the line.
That's what you talked about right there. Them not being able to turn the basketball over and let Kentucky get out in the break.
Well, that time, Bam Adebayo did a much better job of helping on the screen. Actually, a tremendous job. You know, a guy 6'10", he was able to hedge on the screen and help, which caused the turnover. And whenever you have a live ball turnover, you're in trouble against the Wildcats.
Jacoby Mobley, guilty of the foul. And Hawkins.
And this is what I mean right here. You see him, he's over, and then he gets back with those long arms, gets his hand on the basketball, and then the Wildcats are off to the races. If they buy into defense and begin to love it, it'll be hard to beat them this year.
And I like that. I wonder, do you like that? I like the fact that he just showed and not switched that time. I think they're better with those guys showing with those long arms and not putting themselves in those mismatches and letting them drive in one-on-one.
Sure, they have the capability on the switch if they need to, but if you can stay matched up with your man, obviously that's much better. And you have a chance to keep guys out of foul trouble.
You saw Bam Adebayo over there getting some work done on the Kentucky bench. Not sure if he's got a cut or exactly what it is. We'll keep our eye on that as Isaac Humphries is checked in for him. And how about Willis with a block? Hello! Malik Monk!
I thought Willis was going up. You know, he came off the bench. May have been a little stiff. That's all. That's okay. He finished.
Double-digit lead for the first time. Willis starts it with his defense and gets the reward at the other end.
Well, and Antoine, this is what we're talking about. You see him, he actually had to switch on that, and then they're off to the races, and once they get out into the break, it's too late.
You know what I love about this young group, which sometimes it doesn't happen right away with a young group? They make the right play in transition.
They do.
That's the great thing about them. They score in transitions. They hurt you when you turn it over.
They're willing to give the ball up, too. I think you were a sophomore before you got your first career assist, right?
You might be right.
But that's because they didn't want you passing it. They wanted you to go up with it.
Hey, my freshman year, I was playing 15 minutes. All I thought about was give me a couple shots after 15 minutes.
Welcome to the broadcast. Dave Baker's going to be throwing those blows the whole night, body blows.
Fish still thinks about that.
This is a critical point in the game right now, I think, for Tennessee Martin. They've done such an excellent job of staying in this game, not letting it get out of control. Can they hold the fort down?
All right, the officials taking a look at the monitor, and they're just checking it. So, oh, that was unintentional. If that was intentional, Jacoby Mobley has got some mad skills.
He doesn't need to be playing basketball. He needs to be in UFC.
We can't look at that one now, ref. That's good basketball right there. Good defense.
He would be the Tennessee Martin futsal champion if that was intentional. I mean, and they got to look at it because there was contact above the shoulder by rule. But, I mean, he just got that ball stripped, and he was up in the air. And say it ain't so, Joe.
Joe Lindsay. Looks like we're right back to action.
We play on.
They got it right.
I mean, he jumped really high. Maybe they just wanted to see how high he was. But that's exactly what replay is supposed to do. Get it right. And so Mobley whistled for the foul. And Dominique Hawkins, who got the start the other day when Briscoe couldn't go, then he got a bone bruise, and you see that sleeve on his right knee. And so he was limited in his action. But he was better, able to go and practice yesterday, full shoot around today. And he's back at the line for the second time tonight.
Well, and Dominique Hawkins is an individual who Coach Cal says is their most athletic player amongst this extremely athletic team. And I know at the shoot-around, Antoine, you were saying that you really liked his game as far as backing up those other guards.
Yeah, because he's going to be focused. He's a senior. He's a guy that's not going to make a lot of mistakes. Coach Cal can trust him. He's played in big games over the last couple years, so he's a guy that can help these freshmen out as the season goes along.
Was the MVP of the Kentucky Sweet 16 right here on this floor from Madison Central. You see the Wildcats perfect from the free throw line with all this talent. Nice feed. And Humphries able to alter the shot just enough. Nice ball fake. Ooh, that's pretty.
That's called pro stuff. You just say pro stuff.
Very, very technical term. But, I mean, you add that to your game if you're Malik Monk.
Wow.
Because you will have to go up and challenge that three the way he shoots it. Wow. Speaking of shooting it, how about Butler?
Well, we talked about it before. He had 7 3-pointers on the road at the Pavilion against Ole Miss. And right now, he's single-handedly, along with Mobley, really keeping his team in this game.
His third field goal, 7 points in 11 minutes. And here he comes out of there with a basketball.
Nice. Kentucky showed some vulnerability in getting back in defensive transition tonight multiple times, and UT Martin's exposing that.
And because of that, John Calipari showing an increased ability to go to the bench in a hurry. Nice feed. Even a better fake. I'm really impressed, Antoine, with the way he just shoots it so well, and he's able to switch hands and have great control with either.
He's the complete package. You know, he can do it all. And it's crazy, when he came out of high school, he was really a scorer, but he does everything on the court.
Monk. And Humphries. The big fella goes to the glass and sticks it back in.
Well, when you're a big guy, you don't want to bring it down for the little guys. And Isaac Humphries is going to show you how to do it, big guys at home. First of all, he boxes out. He goes up and gets it. Keep it up high, big fella. Oh, I love that.
Pretty sure. Guys.
Thanks, man. Antoine, TD never met a shot he didn't like either.
No, he didn't pass a lot, bro. But he hit it right on the head with Kentucky. They're doing a terrific job in transition, scoring the basketball, but they got to get back and stop the easy buckets for Tennessee Martin.
And there you see Jacoby Mobley, who had done so many good things, but now on the bench with those 3 fouls.
Well, and Jacoby Mobley is their leader, and so they'll struggle a little bit here down the stretch. But you know, for Kentucky right now, they can't afford to let off the gas pedal, and you see them turn it up defensively now.
And how about that? Fox got the steal again, but John Calipari comes out of the timeout, and he puts Gabriel at 6'9" on the point of the press.
This is what I talked about. They could be great defensively if they want to press. They have that option. Fitz, like you said, I think that's something they're going to implement that later in the season goes along.
I agree. They have the depth, the athletic anticipation to do it.
Adebayo couldn't get the spin.
I'm worried about Tennessee Martin. It kind of seemed like they were starting to slip a little bit. I wonder if Kentucky depth starting to really wear on them now. The size, you know, inside, the bigs are starting to wear on them. It's going to be tough for them to stay in this game. 3 minutes to go. You want to keep this game somewhat close. You're down 15. It's going to be an important 3 minutes for Tennessee Martin.
Well, you called it their depth and the inability to take care of the basketball. Now it's 15 points off of 10 turnovers for UT Martin. That's the difference in the last 5 minutes.
Boy, look at Fox go. Man, he set up Gabriel. So Fox now, on the night, that's his 3rd assist. He's got 10 points. He's perfect from the free throw line. He's got 5 rebounds. He's got 3 turnovers, but he's canceled that out with 3 steals. Kid is something.
These are just right plays. This is what makes him very special. This was 7.5 assists a game, making the right play, easy pass, getting his teammate a nice wide open shot.
A lot has been made about the fact that at this point in time this year, that Fox already has more assists than Tyler Ulis did last year. But Ulis got off to a slower start before he got going. But at this point in his career, Fox already has more assists through the first 5 games than any Kentucky player since Travis Ford back in '93.
He makes the right play.
Here he is with a penetration, and that time he lost it. Monk going way up. Somebody was thinking alley-oop. Monk was thinking, oh no.
Wow, come on now.
Hey.
You got to Bill Russell that. Just catch it. Just catch it, right?
I don't know. He looked like he could have dunked that one for them.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Wow, is he athletic.
6'3". 6'3". Catch and shoot, Kadar Edwards. 10 on the night for Edwards.
Love it. 7 career double-doubles, and he's keeping them in the game as well.
Adebayo will go to the line as Rowe commits the foul, and I believe that's his 3rd.
A lot of people will look at Bam Adebayo, they see his size, they see his athleticism, but one thing that I've seen since even before the season when I was going around looking at practice is his work ethic. And it's something that you see with all of these guys here for Kentucky in particular, but Bam Adebayo has been out working on his shot before every game and before every practice this year.
When we left shoot-around this afternoon, he was the last guy still in there working. Edwards again. Yikes.
2 big threes to keep them in the game.
And you know what? I like the fact that his teammates recognize he's got the hot hand, and they're looking for him.
Oh! And that's your point guard.
And I think he chinned that rim, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
My gosh, what an impressive player.
A couple more possessions if you're UT Martin. If you can get a stop and something positive to keep yourself within striking distance.
I'll be looking for Edwards right now if I'm them.
Yes, sir. Butler hangs and hits. Boy, I tell you, this bunch has battled.
I'm with you. If they don't turn the basketball over, this could be a totally different game.
Without question. You turn them into a half-court team, and then you look at Matthew Butler, puts on the brakes with a nice hesitation, and then look at the floater over the outstretch of Bam Adebayo.
We call that dancing. Yeah, that's how you dance.
That's what he's doing.
Dancing right there. Dancing a little bit right there.
They hit Fox with a foul. It's his first. Kentucky's largest lead, 18. And the Wildcats with a basketball, and now 1 minute to play in the first half. And I think they're going to whistle a foul against London as he was trying to body it up with Adebayo inside.
Well, that's the new rule that they've really implemented and really protecting the post. That time Bam Adebayo did a nice job of keeping his line of verticality, and that's why he received the whistle.
Adebayo, 6'10".
I'm still amazed that these guys touch. They can shoot free throws. Usually the free throw line is usually their Achilles heel, but these guys can really shoot free throws. Got great touch.
13 out of 13, as you see from the line tonight. And nobody closes out on Butler.
You know, after last game, Coach Cal said it was the first game in which he was really impressed. I think they out-rebounded Duquesne 47-32. That's something else that they'll have to continue to work on. So athletic, not accustomed to boxing out.
Yeah.
Now Adebayo gets some help. And John Calipari puts on the brakes. About a 3-second difference between the game clock and his shot clock. And this is another one of those learning opportunities. Fox! Oh, that ball was going to go in if Mulder hadn't touched it. And John Calipari, oh my gosh. He was about ready to punch the sky, and then he said, hold on, hold on. That ball was going in.
Well, I think, quite frankly, he was frustrated with Mulder, who...
Right. Because I think that ball was coming back in.
Right. He was frustrated with Mulder for not leaving it alone, and then he started clapping his hand for De'Aaron Fox for showing some toughness.
Can't be upset about hustle.
No.
I love it, though. I love the emotion and the passion that Coach Cal coaches at.
How about Adebayo with that offensive rebound? And that was Kentucky's first missed free throw.
He missed both of them, I think.
He did miss both of them.
Yeah, he missed both of them. I think I jinxed him, giving them credit for being great free throw shooters.
13 out of 15.
Well, if there's anybody Kentucky fans will let get away with jinxing Kentucky, I think it ought to be you.
I was over there looking to make sure that Mulder was still okay over on the bench.
That's 3 in a row. I'm not talking about free throws no more tonight. It's 3 in a row they missed.
Well, I think at the beginning of the season, Coach Calipari said the goal was to shoot 70+. On the year, they're right about 70%.
Last chance for the Skyhawks.
Big shot.
And Edwards couldn't get the follow. Kentucky led by as many as 18. De'Aaron Fox, big first half with a dozen. Let's go now to the studio. Dorian Delk with the SEC Network halftime report. Tennessee Martin came in here to Rupp Arena full of confidence, and they've got some playmakers too. But the nation's #1 ranked team with a 15-point halftime lead. Dave Baker alongside the former Wildcat great Antoine Walker and Damian Fishback, the Mr. Basketball here in Kentucky in the mid-1990s. Fellas, I know that you love to get out in transition, and that's what this Kentucky team does oh so well.
Well, when you look at them, Antoine, the way they do it defensively has led to their offensive transition, and we saw that in the first half.
And actually, this is a team that doesn't press you, doesn't pick up 94 feet. They do it with their long arms and being athletic in the half-court set.
Here's a great example right here. I mean, when you look at them, once they get the stop, they're off to the races. It's like a track meet. Somebody shot the gun, and then here they go. And they have multiple weapons, and we saw that the first half.
And then the great thing about Kentucky, when they get out in transition, they make the right play. You know, for this to be a young team, to be able to make the right play in transition and not turn over, it's unbelievable.
Well, they have the guys to do it. Again, once they begin to love it, it'll be a lot of this. Upstairs, running, jumping, and dunking. And we see what we talked about at the outset, why they are contenders. Transition game, 18 points off turnovers, 8 players have scored, and then the inside presence, 20 points in the paint.
And that last thumbnail, they're doing all this without their leading scorer, Isaiah Briscoe, on the bench for the second straight game with that bruised tailbone. So let's see what the Skyhawks can do. Important that they get some scores and some stops early. And Adebayo creates the held ball, and the arrow points to the Wildcats.
First 3-4 minutes are critical for Tennessee Martin to stay in this game. They don't want Kentucky to go on an early 6-0, 8-0 run right here, right off the bat.
UT Martin has played several different types of zone. Here's Monk. And I think they're going to get Gabriel for creating some space underneath.
Correct call. Ron Groover right there on the call. Another point of emphasis on the rebounding, displacing the defender or offender in that case. And you see our leading scorers thus far in the game. Edwards for UT Martin, and then Fox and Gabriel, of course, for Kentucky.
Fox with 5 rebounds to go with those 12 points and 3 assists. And Lewis can't get it to go, and they're going to get Adebayo. No, they're going to take it the other way. I thought they were going to get Adebayo, but instead it's Javi Martinez, who's guilty of boxing out inside. His first.
Yeah, and for Martinez and Rowe, those two guys have been under 3 coaches. Coach Stewart, their 3rd coach now, so they're excited. They went from being the last place team to the first place team.
And if you look at the halftime stats, Tennessee Martin has to start playing defense without fouling. They put Kentucky on the line 17 times in the first half. If they have any chance to stay in this game, they cannot continue to foul Kentucky. I know I jinxed them, though, with the 4-minute free throws.
You did. Martinez guilty of his second. Kentucky hit its first 13 free throws. They missed their last 4 of the first half, but then Gabriel knocks that one down.
It's a challenge not to foul the Wildcats because they're so fast in transition, and because even though they're slender, most of these guys are fairly tough and they're wiry strong.
Nice pass. Edwards. whipped one in there. And Gabriel is guilty of his third foul. Lewis goes to the line.
Well, this is a chance to where they can improve as well. That time we talked about, and Wenyen Gabriel's upset with himself, we talked about keeping their eye on the man too much. That time Gabriel's eyes were on the ball, and he lost his man.
They're going to make those special mistakes like that sometimes. That's some of the things that Cal has to live with them defensively. But their athletic ability can make up for a lot of those mistakes.
And Lewis missed them both. Fox with a crossover.
Great crossover. Got to finish that, Fox. You got to finish that one.
Would you have finished that one?
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty move right there.
Adebayo let that one go before it became a goaltend. And everybody got caught looking at the basketball, and Martinez gets an easy one.
Tennessee Martin has picked up that pressure, picking up a half court now, too.
What a nice pass from Monk. And an even better move by Adebayo inside to create some space.
You know, there's a few teams on the schedule that are going to improve, and a lot of those teams are very good. And you see Bam Adebayo here. They may want to press. Louisville could possibly press Kentucky. Kansas, we don't know if they will or not, North Carolina. But this is going to be a tough team to press because they have multiple handlers, and Fox is so fast.
How about that move? As Butler got it to go.
Kentucky wants to get out of transition. They may welcome this Tennessee Martin pressure.
You see, I don't think UT Martin will stay in it too long.
Willis tapped that out, but he didn't realize how open he was at the free throw line and rushed that shot. And Fox finishes in traffic again.
Every time they get to the middle, something good happens for them. Willis with the wide open shot, now Fox with a nice layup.
I'm telling you though, Antoine, the one thing I think that gets lost on Fox is that he can switch, he can go to either hand just as effectively underneath.
Yeah, he got great. He can finish around the basket.
Adebayo with a strong post up. And that's Martinez with a foul.
That's a great post up. You know how hard it is to get an 18-year-old kid to seal like that and fight for position?
and that's because they've probably been so big they haven't had to do it before.
That's an unbelievable post up to get himself in position like that and to make himself available for a nice post-entry pass.
Well, because they're so big and a lot of them hadn't had to do it, and because everyone wants to be the next Kevin Durant as well. You don't have a lot of guys that want to play with their back to the basket, but if you remember Karl Anthony Towns and the rest of the bigs, they all learned to do that.
There's Adebayo again, and it's London that commits the foul. And this is one thing we heard John Calipari say at practice today, just grind them. And they are grinding that ball inside, and you see the foul trouble that Anthony Stewart and his club are in now.
Yeah, the depth of Kentucky is really starting to take a toll, and we saw that early in the first half where their depth was starting to take control. Now they come down in the second half and just really starting to dominate inside.
And Gabriel gets free, and it's Kahari Buford, the 6'4" junior from Hartford, who commits his first foul, 5th against the Skyhawks.
Wenyen Gabriel, I think, could be the X factor. You remember Trey Lyles and his ability to find mismatches, to go inside, to go out with his size. I think Wenyen Gabriel could be that guy similar for Kentucky because of his versatility and size as well.
There you see Derek Willis. Ooh. And he might have jammed a finger, or he went straight back to the Kentucky locker room after that inadvertent contact. And we'll keep you updated on that. Tough catch inside, and that's Sasha Killeya-Jones getting his first action of the night. Killeya-Jones, the freshman from Chapel Hill via Virginia Episcopal. One of the 5 McDonald's All-Americans on this team.
What I loved about that play is Fox gave it up, though. He motivates his big guys and teammates to run the floor because he'll give it to them.
He very seldom makes a wrong play.
Nice catch, Adebayo. And the Wildcats have to get back. Nice look. And Monk was going up to throw it down. Just another example of great court recognition by De'Aaron Fox.
Well, you hope the young man is okay, but that's how quick they can get you out. And obviously, you know, Chandler Rowe was going for the basketball, just quite frankly couldn't get up high enough.
Right.
Came to his elbow.
Right. And that's Rowe's 4th foul.
Kentucky's so good in transition. Makes the right play every time. It's impressive how he makes the right decision on the break.
Well, and that's something that I think is probably underrated. We look at teams across the country, and I think Coach Cal not only recruits highly talented players, but he recruits individuals with high basketball IQs as well, and that's been apparent here today.
Kentucky with 7 turnovers on the night. And I'm not sure that any of them have occurred in the open court. It's been defense, it's been transition, and now it's a 19-point lead.
We have a timeout.
SEC Network Basketball is brought to you by Cooper Tire. Visit CooperTire.com or a Cooper Tire dealer today. Beautiful night here in Lexington, Kentucky, as the Wildcats have opened up a 19-point lead. So much history and tradition here at UK, including those national championship banners in 1996. A banner that Antoine Walker helped bring home. Cal has really embraced the history of this program. He says it all the time. It's not for everybody. It's a big fishbowl, and the light can be bright. And so today, he made sure that everybody knew who Twan was anyway. But I mean, what's that like for you? You didn't play for Cal here, but still for him to make sure you're welcomed the way that you were. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot to me. I'm obviously, Kentucky's been a special place for me individually, and Cal has made me feel welcome. And he doesn't have to do that, especially for me or any other ex-guys, but he makes us feel welcome, makes us still feel a part of the program, and I love him for that.
Talks about the history and tradition. He did that at his very first news conference here. Welcomes folks back in and makes everyone feel special. And this team is special. This team is really special.
I'm tired of beating the dead horse. They make the right decision in transition.
They do. High basketball IQ.
Last minute and a half, Kentucky with a 10-0 run. They just pound you, pound you, pound you. And then they've got all those fresh legs, and here they come. Week 13 rivalry weekend in the SEC, and the SEC Network College Football lineup starts with what should be another great one, Georgia Tech and Georgia at noon. The Egg Bowl at 3:30 between Mississippi State and Ole Miss. 7:30, our SEC Saturday night game. Number 17 Tennessee takes on Vandy in Nashville. All 3 games seen streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN. Humphreys guilty of the bump before the shot. First against Isaac Humphreys, they were raving about his conditioning in the offseason. Been a little slow because of a right knee tweak. But certainly a guy that can provide some big-time depth. And Hawkins was either looking for help or got lost, and Mobley was the beneficiary.
Yeah, we've seen some vulnerability defensively, and at the end of Early in the season, Coach Cal said that was probably their #1 characteristic they needed to improve, was being more unselfish defensively.
Offensive rebound, Hawkins. And it leads to the great play by Monk. Humphrey's got the block.
Give me something special, young fella. Something special. Oh, yeah. Give me something special now.
I believe that would be a shimmy-worthy play.
Yeah, yes. Oh, give me something else now. Let me see something. Give me something else. Okay. Okay.
The Wildcats have broken it open. It's a highlight show here in Lexington. Oh, they come to see their Wildcats win, but they come for the show as well. And if they got one here in the last 2.5 minutes.
Antoine, you said they called the little hesitation dancing. That's just a nice, old, smooth windmill, and that's the rocker.
Hold on.
The rocker right there.
Does that say nominee? I mean, that's got to be there. That's no nominee.
I like the first one better, though, for the nominee. The first one was better.
That windmill.
The windmill was better.
It was, Vince Carter talking about he's possibly getting back in the dunking contest. What do you think he would think about that now?
I get the first one a solid 9. 7 with the back. It was the basic backward dunk. 7. I played in a tough era, man. I played with Michael Jordan. Played. You know what I mean? It's a tough era I played in.
There's a tough move there. It won't go over Killeya-Jones. Here's Monk again.
The reality is most teams go about 60, 65.
Yes.
These Wildcats would get pulled over all the time because they average about 90 miles per hour when they get out in transition.
I don't know about you guys, but I know we 6 games into the season, and I don't want to overspeak, but we might be watching the best backcourt in the country, and they're freshmen.
Woo.
And
hold
again,
on now.
But hold on. I want to put this in perspective. This is without Briscoe out here. This is with Briscoe, the leading scorer, on the bench.
Are you watching these guys?
I'm watching, but there's some other people who might like Frank Mason. Right?
Hey, listen, I say we 6 games into the season. We haven't got to the meat of the schedule. It's coming up.
Jason
but
Tatum.
the first 6 games has got to be these 2 guys.
Killeya-Jones, that's a pretty jumper.
They come at you in waves.
That young man stepping out at 6'10" and shooting that jumper that pretty. 11-0 run over the last minute and 25 seconds. People are turning this in right now, and I'm telling you, UT Martin's played pretty well. And look at the margin they're looking up at. And again, Isaiah Briscoe out for the 2nd straight game with that bruised tailbone.
Their leading scorer.
And he's having a great year. He's improved his game tremendously from last year. He can make the jump shot now. He's shooting at a high percentage. So when they get him back, sky's the limit. They're going to continue to roll because the meat of their schedule is coming up.
And fellas, he's a guy now that is entirely different. I mean, Monk can stroke it. Fox, we've seen how fast he is. But Briscoe is a guy that can penetrate, absorb contact, and finish the deal.
He's a special type of player. It's tough to compare him to somebody. We was thinking about this earlier, like who does he play like? He's got some Eric Bledsoe in him a little bit to me. A guy that can score. He got some Lou Williams in him. 6'3", kind of undersized. 2 guy that can score the basketball. So he's got some pro potential, but I don't know if he's traditionally a point guard or is he a 2. And this year he's just playing lights out, taking good shots, extending his range. So I'm interested to see him continuing his career progress.
What impresses me the most is their ability to play together, right? We look at the NBA level when they had James Harden, Westbrook, and Kevin Durant.
Come on now.
And you see a nice finish again by Malik Monk. But remember how well they played together, Durant, Westbrook, James Harden? these three guys play together as well, and they all bring something different. The athleticism obviously goes to Malik Monk.
And that's the great thing about Coach Cal. You got to give him credit to be able to bring in McDonald's All-Americans year in and year out and get them to buy into a team concept in basically 3 months. When you really think about it, 3-4 months when you get these guys on campus, to get them to buy into being a team and a team concept is a credit to him and his coaching staff.
Monk has scored 14 of UK's last 18 points. And he has not forced a shot in that entire time. And that's Fofana, who was fouled. Fans tomorrow, SEC Nation live from Tuscaloosa for the Iron Bowl. Maria, Tim, Marcus, Paul, and Laura. I'm telling you, there's a special atmosphere down there. It's a special rivalry weekend in the SEC. They'll break it down. SEC Nation presented by AT&T, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on the SEC Network. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN as Fox goes to the bench. And they want him back up front so they can tell him what a good job he's doing now. I mean, that young man has gotten her done. There you see Kenny Payne and Joel Justice on either side. Two members of the Kentucky staff.
You have to remember this UT Martin team busted up here and got in at about 4 a.m. yesterday morning. Got a little sleep, came in and practiced last night, and right now they are looking pretty fatigued.
Boy, like you said, that's the example of they just keep coming at you.
You could tell they are a little fatigued. I started to see it a little bit in the first half where the fatigue kind of set in on them. I thought Anthony Stewart came in with the right game plan. You're going to play zone. You know Kentucky's bigger than you. They could shoot the three ball. They didn't really shoot it particularly well. But they kind of shot their own self in the foot in the first half, just turning the basketball over, not giving themselves opportunities, not giving themselves shot attempts. They were in this game. This was a very entertaining first half.
Mulder steps into it. Boy, and they have got it going now. Wow. In the timeout zone, and the Skyhawks could use it badly. Pretty drive there, and Rowe created the contact, but the Wildcats have blown this one open. The nation's #1, rolling. 86-48, the Wildcats have blown it open with some devastating runs here in the second half. And fellas, you take a look at that young man. Everybody talks about his talent, but it's what you do with that talent as well.
Well, you know, consistently, whether it's before games like we saw this afternoon, you see the sweat and perspiration. That's because at this point, he had already went through a full workout. And that's exemplified and displayed throughout this entire Wildcat team, time and time again. These guys come here and they have a workmanlike attitude from the time they step in refereeing.
And we were watching those guys shoot around earlier, and we were like, you know, I made a reference to you, like, where's the coaches at? These guys are out here on their own, getting their own shots up, and it's got to be Coach Calipari treating these guys like they're young men, that they're professionals, that they can police themselves to go out there and put the extra work that's needed to become good. And that's why you kind of see this is a different freshman group than we've seen in a long time. Very poised. Work ethic is second to none that I've seen. So sky's the limit how good they can be this year.
You know what the question is, Antoine Walker? What did the 96 national championship team do with this squad here?
Don't start that early.
I'm just asking.
Oh, well played, Fish. And how about that work ethic, speaking of well played?
What would you do with Mr. Adebayo, huh?
Double teaming. Double team him every time we touch it. Make him a passer.
You would not let Mark Pope handle him yourself?
No, sir. We come with double team. Did you see us play against Tim Duncan? Ask Tim Duncan about us.
Mulder. Yikes. The The Wildcats now 6 of 17 from outside the arc.
We're going to get back to that 96 question, too. Ain't going to let you get away with that.
And they just keep coming.
Uh-oh.
That's at least the third Monk dunk. Adebayo now with his second career double-double. 12 points, 10 boards.
Well, anytime you get out in fast break, not only do you have to sprint back and stop the ball, but you have to. That's pretty basketball, Carl.
And a standing ovation for Malik Monk, who leads with a season-high 26 points. He's got 49 in his last 2 games. And Jalen Jackson will go to the line as Fox commits his second foul.
It's a good opportunity for Jalen Jackson to get some quality minutes. He didn't play in the Duquesne game. Very successful in junior college. Helped Neosho County to a 30-6 record.
And over there on the Kentucky bench, you see Derek Willis. You see that left arm. You do not see the right. It looks like he's icing that right thumb. The UK folks tell us that he suffered a thumb injury, and his return is uncertain.
I don't think they need him no more today.
And based on that, it looks doubtful. Adebayo went flying, and that was courtesy of a little nudge from Fofana. Still, even with a little nudge, it's difficult to make that guy go flying.
With the tough schedule that Kentucky's got coming up, you know, this is valuable teaching times. You look at Cal, he's still playing his guys.
Sure.
He's constantly continually getting those guys ready. Still teaching and making sure they make the right play. So that's the great thing about Cal. He knows how to coach young guys, and this is what he's at his best at.
And here's the other thing, Fish. There is still a lot. Even though this game is lopsided in terms of the margin, there's still a lot in terms of game action that these young fellas have not experienced yet.
Certainly. And he talked about Bam Adebayo today, and they said they look at him and they say, oh, he's a grown man. He said the kid's 18 years old. And
right.
So a lot of people are expecting unrealistic expectations. And these opportunities to learn in front of an audience in live action are priceless.
Kentucky has gone man-to-man the entire game. Had a couple of trips of press.
Are you kidding me?
That's 6'10"
versus 6 feet. That's impressive. You talk about getting down and guarding. Now, he's beat, but he has the wingspan and a 33-inch vertical leap to help him recover.
I vote grown man. Wow. Rowe. And that should be a shot clock violation. It was Adebayo that altered the shot.
I don't know how many teams in the country are as athletic as Kentucky. They make so many athletic plays on the court that doesn't even require skill. With block shots and steals and getting deflections, they're so athletic.
Well, they're going to face a couple of them. Not sure about the athleticism. Probably the most athletic team would be Duke if they're healthy, that can match their depth.
But look at that sequence right there. And Antoine, what you say is true. But not only is this team so athletic, but they play so dadgum hard.
Yeah, this is a very focused group right now.
I mean, this is a game that they've got well in hand, and you have got this bunch led by Adebayo that is involved in a tip drill.
I'm telling you, Cal uses these times like this to still get work. He demands excellence from these guys to continue to get the work. And you alluded to this, too. They had the day off yesterday. You know, so he's making up for it.
About giving them a few more days off.
Boy, the little guy is not shy, though. He got it swatted last time down, and he raises up to Mobley and gets a three this time.
Well, he's the redshirt senior and the leader of this team. And so he's not going to quit. They're not going to quit.
What a feed. Fox with an unbelievable assist. It's his 5th of the night. Just great, great vision. And another block. I'm not sure whether it was Gabriel or Humphries that got it.
We have a timeout.
It really doesn't matter. The Cats hit the century mark, and it was about 20 years ago, but it was a very good year here in Rupp. So there you see the national championship banners here at Rupp Arena, 8 of them. The quest for number 9 is underway, but what about 1996? The Meadowlands in New Jersey. And who is that?
You know, they would call that a displacement now, what you just did now.
Antoine grew up in Chicago, and he could give you a hip placement. You guys got together for your reunion not too long ago. It had to be a great experience.
Yeah, Coach Pitino put together, 20 years ago we won the national titles, and I hadn't got a chance to see, 7 or 8 of my teammates in 20 years, and Coach Pitino put together a nice 2-day trip to Miami this summer, and we got an opportunity to spend some time together, have a couple dinners together, and just reminisce about the '96 season. And it was my first time ever seeing the game over again, 20 years later.
Not a lot of hair in that group. But in '96 also, down in Bowling Green, Kentucky, Greenwood High School, he became the all-time leading scorer in Greenwood history.
Ooh, look at that suit.
Damian Fishback. He was a clothes horse then. Mr. Basketball here in the state in 1990s. Look at that. Basketball, track, and field. What did you run?
Tell me you ran the 40.
Hey, nothing very fast, man. Nothing very fast.
High jumper? Track and field? They must have had that during 6th period or something. He was just wanting to get out of class.
Everybody's throwing body blows tonight.
Was that a custom suit?
This was Thanksgiving, man.
Was that a custom suit?
You ain't ever seen Fish buy anything off the rack.
It's custom for me not to wear it anymore. Wow, look at those points in the paint.
Brad Calipari's in there, the coach's kid with a basketball. And the fans wanting him to launch it up. And Gabriel tried to go get his own. Dante Bailey gets his first bucket at the other end, a junior out of Antoine's hometown of Chicago.
Yes. Gotta give Kentucky credit, though, tonight. So unselfish. 23 assists on 36 field goals. That's sharing the basketball.
Killeya-Jones. That's a pretty stick back. 6 off the bench for Sasha Killeya-Jones. And that's Jacoby Mobley.
I think that once they get into conference play, obviously quality teams in the OVC. You've got Belmont, Eastern Kentucky, but I think this team is still going to battle.
I agree.
They just ran into a buzzsaw here tonight.
Yeah, especially with their senior and junior leadership. These guys have been here for a while. They'll bounce back after tonight.
There you take a look at those Kentucky. Look at those numbers for the freshmen. Monk with a career high. I keep going back to Fox's numbers. He's got 6 rebounds to go along with those points and assists. Gabriel And Adebayo with his second double-double. And they got plenty of reason to be happy. But chemistry, Antoine, so important. And these guys got it, and it's not forced.
Yeah, and you could just tell they want the best for each other. And you just look at their assist totals. Everybody's sharing the basketball. They look for one another. And they're great at transition. That's the one time you can be selfish is in transition, but they're not selfish. They share the basketball and look out for one another. All signs of when you want to win a championship.
Still 6 minutes to go in this one. And Kentucky, that's rolled over its first 5 opponents, has got its season high in terms of points. And now that mark goes up to 105. Gabriel caught him with a knee.
You know, the reality of it is Kentucky's been playing extremely well, but I think people outside will also admit that they haven't played the stiffer competition. When you look at UCLA and Alonzo Ball, you look at T.J. Leaf in the middle with Tom Welsh, and of course the coach's son, Bryce Alford. They're a quality team that can score a ton of points. You look at Louisville.
We'll see how quality they are when they come here next Saturday.
I think the good thing that Cal
Get your
does,
quality on.
and not to take anything away from Tennessee Martin, but he eases his team into that. Especially when you got freshmen, it's tough to throw them into the fire right away. You want them to get a couple wins under their belt. You want to be able to live through their mistakes. So you go sometimes against the lesser talent the first 4 or 5 games to give yourself a chance. You throw Michigan State in there. Michigan State's played a tough schedule. That was a very good game, but the meat of the schedule's coming. We're going to see how good they really are over the next 2-3 weeks before conference play starts and see if they're the real deal.
Butler got that one to go.
And Coach Tom Izzo even apologized for saying that he's scheduled too difficult for his young team. I think Michigan State's going to be just fine. A good win against Wichita State. Tom Izzo will get it together. He always does.
Humphries couldn't get the stick back.
He does look like that knee may not be 100%. Doesn't have that athletic bounce of feel right now for Humphries.
When I came to practice before the season, he was sitting out, and you see he still got the brace on, and that's what's really scary. The fact that Briscoe's out, this team's so young. As you see, another jump shot.
Rowe knocks it down. Yeah.
This team can be scary by the end of the year.
Oh, without question. Especially if they get the three-point shot to get the goal for them.
Mulder stays after it. And now the Wildcats will reset as we go under 4 minutes.
Nice move.
And that's why they were so excited about Humphries getting in such great shape before the season started, because of his ability to do just that inside.
It's funny to read Cal early in the season said he didn't think he was that deep. He was going to go with an 8-man rotation. It's tough to go with an 8-man rotation with this unit. They 10, 11 deep.
Like he said, these guys, all of them were so great in high school, and they come to this program, and every day in practice, somebody's trying to steal your lunch money. And they aren't doing it for fun either.
You know, Dave, Nelly's got a song called I Am Number One. You ever heard it? I'm going to tell you something. Kentucky's showing us exactly what that looks like.
Time now to take a look at today's Good Hands play. It's brought to you by Allstate. Huh? Who do you think it might be?
Malik Monk.
That's winding her up and getting her done. That's tonight's Good Hands
You gotta
play.
like that.
Brought to you by Allstate.
That was sexy right there.
What you call it, Dave? Winding her up and getting her done.
There, you gotta call that sexy. When you windmill it on a break.
Right. Twan, this is your first game and you've done a great job. When you say sexy, it sounds cool. When I say it, it sounds uncool.
Not as cool. Not as cool, Dave.
It's actually a basketball term.
It sounds cold instead of cool.
Oh.
Final 3:15. Mulder, Killeya-Jones, Hawkins. Ty Wynyard in there now along with Brad Calipari for the Wildcats.
Well, and that's something else. When you see Ty Wynyard, you see Killeya-Jones, these guys are getting better every day in practice, competing against one another. So their practices up to this point have been more challenging than their games.
And I'm telling you, this reminds me of the 96 team. I know Cal, like I said earlier, he felt like they wasn't as deep, but I think they're just as deep as any other team that he's had ever. I just think they can go 10, 11 deep. And I played on a team where we had 9 pros in 96 that was deep. And our practices sometimes were better than the games. And I think that's what he's going to start to witness as this team continue to progress as the season goes along.
Good look there by Wynyard. Let's see how my memory was. That year you reeled off a bunch of wins, and then you get beat up in Detroit, right, by Cal's UMass team, right?
Actually, we won one game, and we got beat by Cal's UMass team.
Right.
But I always remember this. We beat Cal when it counted.
Yeah, right. But then you reeled off a bunch of wins.
We went off 27 straight.
Until you go down to the championship game of the SEC tournament when?
Why you gotta throw that in?
Dante Jones had 45. He's the answer to a trivia question.
But you know.
And then you guys rolled in the tournament.
But Dave, to my defense, just my defense. Coach benched me, I think, after the first time out.
He was just a little upset with you that game, but I wasn't going to bring that up. What was that all about?
I talked back. You know how Coach Pitino was. One word, talk back, it's over with.
But after you guys got in that tournament, you rolled a bunch of people, including Tim Duncan and Wake Forest.
Yeah, we were very good defensively. We made sure that we treated stars, respected stars. We double-teamed them and forced them to do things they didn't want to do. That's what was special about our team. The difference between this team, they get it done. This team right here that I'm watching now, they get it done in the half-court set defensively. Right. I've never seen this before, where they turn you over as much. And I know they're athletic. I know they're young. They can get in the passing lane. But we press to force turnovers. We press 94 feet. We created those turnovers. With this team, they get it done in the half court. That's what makes them special.
Well, and they said that you talked to De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, and they talk about how impressive and how much they were improved from going against Isaiah Briscoe.
Yeah, that could be a difference.
Killeya-Jones off the feed from Wynyard. Folks, coming up tonight after a full day of college football, not only tonight but tomorrow, don't miss SEC Now. Dari, Doring, and Booger. They'll break it all down for you. Game breakdowns from rivalry weekend, SEC Now. Right here on the SEC Network and streaming live on ESPN app and Watch ESPN. Those folks will be in the house tomorrow night. Coming up after us, Dari and Delker standing by. And all the guys to break down a full Saturday of college football on Rivalry Saturday.
Make sure Tony Delk does not talk about football. What he did at halftime, he should not talk about football. Oh, he's from Brownsville, Tennessee. That's no football team in Brownsville, Tennessee.
Wow.
He should not be giving, thoughts about football.
Dave's rubbing off on you. You're throwing blows now. You're throwing blows
He's
on
from Brownsville, Tennessee. They don't have no football team down there. He don't know nothing about no football.
He did say pocket pass a couple times.
And there's a strip. And a finish by Jackson, who took it away from Johnny David. Killeya-Jones goes to the rack. And with that bucket, Kentucky has set a new record for points scored in the Cal era. The old record was 110 versus Auburn Fish in February of 2015. For those of you scoring at home, the overall Kentucky record for points, 143 versus Georgia in February of 1956.
The battlers on Jackson, Texas.
How cool is it to have your son playing on your team?
Well, it's interesting. You know, we've got two coaches' son. Obviously, Brad Calipari playing for Coach Cal here, and see a nice round of applause. It's got to be a lot of pressure, but Coach Anthony Stewart for UT Martin actually has a son that he is not coaching, but he's actually going to send him. This is his son that's a manager, Anthony Stewart, on his team, and his other son, Parker Stewart, is going to Ole Miss with Coach Andy Kennedy.
Wow. That's tough to do.
Brad missed both of those free throws and then missed a good look at a triple. But what a night for the Wildcats. They'll go to 6-0 on this young season. Malik Monk, a career-high 26. De'Aaron Fox with 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 16 points. Adebayo had 15 and 12 for his second double-double. And Gabriel with a career-high 15 as the Wildcats roll 111-76.
All right.
So that was a good one. Twan, let's do this again now. It's a big night here in Lexington for the Wildcats. Our final score, Kentucky 111, UT Martin 76. Now, let's get you back to the SEC studio. And Dari and Tony, that's the story. So long from here in Lexington.